Orie, Afo, Mpo. When you go down to the upper Niger, you will hear something like Onyete, Onyejima, Onyohu, Ohena. You will hear things like this around there. Are these things Hausa language? No. Now, at the bank of Nasarawa River is a market. That is Imo River. And now, every festival around there, what they celebrate is crocodile as the god of their land, which we call here Agui. Do they know how it goes? These are the culture, how we trace our people. Now, among all African coasts, these are how we know our people. We know when we spread them, why we kept them. Because the ancient Imo was the first king of Africa. They call him the Black King, but popularly known as the Amadioha of Imo. He was a wealthy and rich king. After the fall of King David and Solomon, when Nebuchadnezzar took over leadership of the world, these are the people that labor with Nebuchadnezzar I'm telling you of today. Now let us come to the coast of Nigeria of today. The Northerners were not here. The Northerners begin to exist in the north before 17th century, after the first European community attack, not just Britain, to conquer, because there were famine in Europe, and the medicine they need, the food they need is in Africa. And precisely the oil was much in this part of the Eastern Africa, and they needed it for their survival. They came on invasion with the Arab community. Now let me reveal a secret to you. They have a treaty with the Arab community over the grazing of their cattle in the eastern part of Africa, because there is green vegetation there. And that is the only place that they are afraid to conquer. They have to form an alliance with the Arab community to conquer the east of Africa so that they can take domination while the Arab community fill the environment of green vegetation with their cows. This was the Treaty of 1628, before the invasion of the Eastern Kingdom in the year 1632 by European community. After that invasion, the leftover of their armies that were defeated in the desert of the north is what is known today as North. There was no North in the 17th century. When in the 17th century, the British seceded from the European community to be called a British nation, they continued their conquest to Africa because they needed food to survive. They needed resources to survive. Since they have found a route, what do they need to remain in European community for?
That is why they keep stealing from us.
Yes. So the British have been stealing from us right from origin, not today. But they have not been able to conquer and make a total takeover. From the 17th century to the 18th century, the war has been here with the Arab community. We continue to fight them. The war of 17th century was the war of Gideon. The plain of Gideon can be found in Jos. The Bible story is me and you. Go to the Jos plain. You will find where Gideon armies make basins upon the rocks in the Jos plain because they needed water. And the Lord said, the Spirit said they should make such basins that in the morning they will have water for the armies. And that was how the armies have water in the desert to fight. Go to Jos plain. This is where we have pushed the Amorite, known today as the Fulani. This same Fulani we are fighting today are the Amorite of old in the Bible. They are the Amorite. We have been fighting them. They are the Amorites. The same Fulani is the Amorite of old. Don't be deceived. So it has been a continuous fight. In the other Western record, the same Fulani is the Gadanten robbers. It's the same Fulani. They have always occupied the bush, taking over the farmlands. Are you getting it? Nasarawa, Kogi used to be our farmlands. Now the people that come from Cameroon, because here used to be a prosperous place, they come here to find labor, and we give them the farmland, the farm, we pay them, they go back. And when the invasions came, this is how they start emanating and begin to migrate to Nigeria. After the invasion, no one knows his home, and this is how they start to stay. And mix up with Kogi, mix up with Jos, mix up with all those. If you go down to Nasarawa, you will see a community called Okike. What is what we call those areas at that time? Okike means our boundary. Go there. Till today, they don't even know why they are called Okike. But that is the name we gave them. Okike, our boundary. And they claim it as to their name. Go down there in Kogi, go down there in Nasarawa, you will find them. And what do we do in that Okike? We make a bridge of peat round about the community and security. So that when the Northerners are coming, they will fall inside the ditch. And our armies will be fighting them inside the pit there until reinforcements come. This is how that place was established. So Nasarawa, Kaduna were a conquered territory of the east by the northern invasion assisted by the British colony.
British colony.
After the attempt in 17th century, after the British first attempt, the second attempt was in 1802, specifically. Again, which now led to the massacre and overtaking of the Igbos. You know why? Because the Igbos welcomed them as brothers and sisters, as laborers into our Middle Kingdom. And that is how, not knowing that they didn't come for work, that they were infiltrators who entered the Middle Kingdom. And that was how Imo fell in 1802-1804. Imo died and the kingdom fell. From 1804, the British and the Arab world has been upon us. Our fathers have been fighting. The war has been going on until the 19th century that our parents begin to say, okay, what is the way forward? Everybody has been killed. All the prominent men, our kings, our chiefs, our notable ones, has all been killed. There was nobody else to help. That was how Nnamdi Azikiwe would then find their way to find their way to the UK to be trained and be brainwashed in their way of thinking and bring them back with the name of building a nation because they have concluded their plans. So who were we before the amalgamation? So why will a South person come and tell you that he is not Biafra? Before the amalgamation, who were we? You see, these are things we need to reconcile. Now, if you go to the riverine areas, they dance masquerade. This is our identity. They libate with hot drink. This is our identity. But there is no northern man that will libate with hot drink. The hot drink that northern man understand is the kunu or whatever. This thing you call dawa, whatever. What do you call it? That they cook around here.
Zobo.
No, not zobo. This thing that they cook. This
cow milk.
These men drink around here. They use weed to cook it. I don't know what they call it. That is what the Hausa man uses as his hot drink. Now, how will a northerner from the north come and own a land in the east and say he is his inheritance? You see, it is time we start being reasonable to what concerns our life and not being cowards to our existence. The South people, so-called, are becoming cowards to the existence. They are becoming inferior to their own livelihood. They are becoming very, will I say, unaccommodating to themselves. Because before even there was a first state created, it was just the East. So why will today the East is no longer the East? The East now has to be divided from South-South and the Southeast and the what a rubbish. You see, these are those things that politics has cost us as a people. Politics has made us to lose our identity. Politics has made us to lose our origin. We don't even know our history. Okay, how did the Nkwere man came to Rivers State to be called Ikwere? He's an Nkwere man. He speaks Igbo. Go and listen to what Ikwere man talks and what Nkwere man speaks there in Abia State. It is the same thing. There are people that came to Imo, interior, the interior, and said we need a work, and they were pushed to come and labor here. The same is Ogoni people. Ogoni people came from Cameroon and Ghana. It's a mixture of Togo, Cameroon, Ghana. We brought them here for labor. They farm in our farmland. We give them land to live, to farm for us until after the invasion. That is why they clamor for kingdom, because they know they are not from here. So now, how will you now come and claim the land that the owner gave you to stay? You now want to claim it to be your own. I don't know how possible that sounds. You understand it? Now tell me, from the River Nile to Bayelsa today, River Nile was our waterfront where we used to ship our goods. That's the River Nile. Today they say it's Bayelsa, Edo, or whatever rubbish they call it. But that is our River Nile, where all vessels passes from, where we move our export, where that was the first seaport. We are voyagers. It's River Nile, River Bend. With all these places, we are moving our wooden ship. That we are voyagers. The first voyagers of time is Imo. The first ever people that put a ship upon the water is an Igbo man, not a Yoruba man, not an Hausa man, not even the white man. An Igbo man is the first man that his ship flew upon these waters to the central market in the east to distribute grain and oil. The white have not even known what called a ship when Igbo man built the largest cargo ship from the Africa down to the Middle East to supply grains and to supply oil and to supply seeds. Now, the greed of the excess wealth coming from this Africa to the central market in the Middle East is what rose the eyeball of the West to come together with us by the Asians and the Arabs, because they want to come and access it. And that thing is what they have been accessing. Since they got hold of it, they have refused to let go. That is what we are suffering. So I think the British community will have to face economic and financial crime at the ICC court. If actually there is what is called International Criminal Court, then the British nation and the European nation need to face a criminal charge of massacre, of assault, of genocide here in the East Africa. That is who we are. We have the records, and that is what they are afraid of. Now, the Arab community, they want to fulfill their treaty by handing over the East into the Fulani Arab community, who are the descendant of this British blood. Now, as planned. Now, you see, it is a program. Now that they want to push it in, we have always been saying no from the beginning. Regardless of whatsoever. Go through the coast of Africa. Any community you see in Africa that plays a masquerade of Ijijebo, a masquerade of raffia design, is an Igbo man, regardless of the language he speaks, because what changed them is the environment they find themselves. Now, Igbo was busy distributing workers from age to age, raising grains, raising flowers, cassava, palm fruits, and all manner of grain, oil, red oil from the ground, supplying to them. That was what made us the richest nation in the world. There was no other nation as rich as Imo, until Imo failed. That is why no matter how you do, Igbo man will rise up. That is the Ekike of Eke, Orie, Afo, Nkwo. That Igbo man must eat. That Igbo man must make wealth. Igbo man must make wealth. Igbo man must make money, because Eke Orie, Afo, Nkwo, Eke near as a seal from our forefathers. So why will you leave it? That is why they were given £2 after the war. Today they are the richest in Nigeria. whether it's £4 or whatever they give to them. Today, there is no tribe richer in Nigeria than Igbo man. Even with all the oil that they have been taking, they still cannot compare their riches with this Igbo man. So I am proud to be that Igbo man that is being ascribed today as a dot in the big circle. You see, now as a high prince, it is my duty, my responsibility is to bridge the gap between the material world and the spiritual world. I am the bridge. It is my responsibility. That is who I am. I am the man that bridged the veil between heaven and hell. It is me. The bridge between the heaven and the hell is me. The bridge between the material world and the spiritual world is me. The bridge between the white magic and the black magic is me. So there is nothing you will tell me in the circle of this authority of spirit that I, high prince, does not rule over. And I am telling you what I see. And as I speak to you, put yourself in the shoe and meditate back to that date. You will see yourself in that scene and you see what happened. You will hear the leaders, what they said. You will hear the conversations. Then you will know that this world is but a record-keeping place. Nothing is hidden. Nothing is a secret. Whatsoever thing you have done here and one want to know, he will know. And remember what a high prince means. That means you are operating in the highest of all heights. That's what a high prince means. If you are high, then I'm higher. That's what it means. So there is no secret to where I am. There is nothing I want to know, I don't know with the date. And I'll give you the sign of what happened at that minute. Even if it is 1 million years ago. It will be played before me as a tape, and I will tell you what it is. This is who we are. Now, because of the Eke, Ori, Afo, Nkwo, that is why Igbo man can never be a poor man all over the world. Because Eke Nekike, that at this day, you will make money. That this day, your pocket will be filled. That this day, your belly will be filled. That this day, you will walk and you get plenty. These things has been done and passed a decree. That is what it means by there is a decree, irrevocably decreed before the foundation of this world, upon which all blessings are predicated. If any man receive any blessing, it is by obedience to that law, which was anciently decreed before with the foundation of this world. And that law is Eke, Ori, Afo, Nkwo. Upon this platform, all blessings are predicated. That is why Igbo man is the champion. So whatsoever thing, the first plane that flew on air was not a white man. It was an Igbo man. The first submarine vessel that goes under the water was not a white man. It was an Igbo man. So where do they learn their culture from? They learn from Igbo man. The same man they call the dot is the man that has been, without the revenue of the Igbo man, there is no Nigeria. Without Igbo man revenue, there is no Nigeria. Now tell me, now we want to let that dot go. We want to be out of the big circle and be on our own. Let's see if your sentence will be complete without the dot. Let us see if you can see through an eye of an ego without the dot. So this is who we are. So let us learn our culture, understand it, and keep it, so we will prosper. You see all these forces, the day our parents begin to look up to the white way of tradition is the day they begin to fall. After Imo left here, they were deceived to believe that it is fetish. But not knowing that when you are practicing something that is not your own, it's also fetish. That means what our man brings to you is fetish. So go back to your own, that is the original. And that is what makes you who you are. You will be rich. That is why Igbo man is the strongest, because our fathers have prepared the ground for us. So let us learn to stand upon that seal and move. Now, the soldiers are in our land. We don't even know what to do. But a single egg can disappear all of them. Why don't we gather and raise our egg as the ancient do? And let's see, one egg, one soldier. Pass the decree. You will see, you will not find any of them. They will all die like fowls. Why are we afraid? Now, because we have forsaken our path, more common metal of the army threatens us. But I will shock you soon. Their weapons will cease to work. They will crack their gun and it will not answer them. That is what is coming soon. Look out for it. So let us wake up as a people. Let us wake up to do what is right. Let us wake up to our responsibility. And let us wake up to see that the truth about our existence is established. Upon that truth, we can now find our stand. Without the truth, we cannot stand. This is my message. Thank you very much.